Is Korea your home now?
100%. Yeah, for sure. Like seriously, he helped me when I was like in my darkest time in Korea. When you love some people, just make sure you tell them how much you love them before it's too late. 안녕하세요. 일하는 소음 팔젠이라고 합니다. 오늘도 다시 이 자리에 있어서 너무 행복하고 제가 한국 생활에 대한 이야기를 많이 하고 싶으니까 끝까지 영상 보시면 감사하겠습니다.
Yeah, how is it? It's quite an interesting story, and we're going to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So you were born in Iran, but I know that you were back and forth. What's your story, basically?
So the thing is that, yes, I was born and raised in Iran, and I lived there since I was 20, 21. And since my father and my brother, they does business with some Korean companies, since I was 5 years old, I had a chance to come to Korea with my father and my mother sometimes. So, and it was a great opportunity for me to come to other country and see the different culture and different people as a kid. So back and forth, and I felt like actually Korea is a country I think I want to move.
Even when you were young, you were thinking like that?
I had that thoughts when I became 15, 16, and one day we were having a dinner with my parents, and I told my mom, actually I decided to go to Korea for studying, and she was shocked kind of because we are really close, and of course she doesn't want her son to be far away, and she was like, yeah, it's your life, your decision, but I know deep inside she was kind of, moms, right? I ended up coming here, and I'm here now.
Wow. So let's go back firstly then. In Iran, you had a kind of traditional, typical Iranian childhood? Or...
Yes, exactly. Typical Iranian. And I was really close to my parents. Still I am, thanks to God. It doesn't mean if I live far away, it means we became far. Mentionally and emotional thing. No, the feeling is still the same. I talk to them 3 times in a day, and FaceTime, we see each other. I just want to make sure they're good.
And how often when you were a kid would you come to Korea?
Every summer. Every summer we used to come to Korea, and every time we used to stay here for I would say 3 months, 2 months.
Oh, that's quite a long time.
Yeah,
actually.
I know, right? So I was kind of familiar with the country. I couldn't speak the language at all, but it was my dream because I was really curious. Because when you go to a country quite often, you become curious about the culture, how people think, how people work, what they do with their life. So it was my dream to speak Korean with Korean people in Korean, right? So I promised my dad, I told him that if you send me to Korea and give me that opportunity, I will make sure I speak the language fluently. And well, the dream came true.
Wow, yeah,
because I studied hard for that.
Yeah, I mean, you're fluent now. I've met the version of you now who has completed the dream.
Yeah.
But I want to go back then to when you were a kid. Yeah. What do you think were the biggest, do you think there were some influences, or you saw things in a different way? What, compared to Iran,
yeah,
what was going through your mind when you're here? You're you're seeing all of this completely different culture,
probably
different architecture, different, people look different as well.
Yeah, beautiful question. So the thing is that in my country, there are less foreigners than compared to Korea. So as a kid, not as a kid, when I was teenager, I always wanted to speak the different languages. And I also wanted to have friends from different countries, different culture, because I really like it. I really like when I meet some people, they're from different countries. When I talk to them, even this small conversation, friendly conversation, makes me really happy. So I didn't have that chance in my country because 95, I would say, of the population in my country are Iranians. So everybody's almost same. So even, believe me or not, sometimes I used to go out when I used to some foreigners in my country. I used to go and say hi and stuff, trying to practice English and stuff. And one day, the thing I want to mention is here, language is really powerful. And one day I was just going back home. I saw one guy, he was from Germany. I didn't speak the German language. I know some phrases. I can make a small conversation. I just say, "Hi, how are you? Are you from Germany?" And he was like, "How do you know?" And because I said, "I'm studying German these days. Like this is my name. Nice to meet you, whatever." And he was really happy because he was never expect a guy like me. And like I was back in the time, I was 17, 18. So we had a small conversation in German. So he was really happy because I knew his language. So we ended up became best friends. Even he was like 65 and I was 17. And I found out he was the founder of the German school in Iran. And he used to always like invited me like in the German embassy and like German school in my country, which surprisingly Iranians cannot get in unless you have another nationality. I mean the passport. So I went there one day. I went to like German school in Iran. That day, like I was like, wow, it's so different. Like because like in my country, girls when they go to school, they need to wear a hijab and they need to wear a scarf. And like I went there for the first time. There were like guys and girls together. Like there were a really huge soccer field. It felt like Hollywood movies when you see these schools. I was like, is it really like Iran over here? So I was like, well, I want to also feel that. So Korea was the easiest and best option for me to kind of feel the vibe. So yeah, I decided to come to Korea for a study and now I'm just here for 10 years.
Wow. So just that little conversation, what was it? Literally outside in the street or something?
Outside on the street, yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. You remind me, I've always had that approach with languages as well,
Yes.
that if I learn one word, I'm going to try and say it too.
Exactly.
And you never know what connection can come out of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you finally, you believed, okay, this is my dream now. You told your
Yes.
parents. How did that happen then? You came over, was it for undergraduate studies or what was
I came to Korea for the language school.
Okay. And you were how old? 17?
I was like 20.
So did you finish school at that time? Or?
I only study high school.
Okay, so you finished high school?
Yeah, I finished high school and I just moved to Korea.
I see.
Yeah, I was like 20, 21.
Mm-hmm.
I studied Korean for 2 years, like 1 year and a half.
Just on language itself?
Just on the language.
Oh, amazing.
It was an amazing time. I made a lot of good friends.
In Seoul?
Yeah, in Seoul.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it's really funny. I really want that guy to see it. I'm saying this now. So I have one blood brother, but also I met some amazing people here. And one of them, he knows who I'm talking about. I'm here now because of him. Like seriously, I owe him a big thank.
He's Iranian or
He's also Iranian and he also lives in Korea.
Okay.
So I don't want to mention his name.
But he knows.
But he knows.
Thank you to this guy, yeah?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much to that guy.
But what did he do?
He helped me a lot. He helped
Once you came here, you mean, or before?
Once I came to Korea. The funny thing is that, so I found him on Instagram. I realized he lives in Korea. So I DM him, I asked him for some help about Korean universities and stuff. Like seriously, it's crazy. He helped me a lot. He gave me a lot of useful informations. And after like 4 months, 5 months, I came to Korea. One day, my Korean class finished. I was walking back home. I saw that guy.
No way. You hadn't never met him before?
No, I swear.
Kismet.
I swear to God. I saw that guy and I was like, we had the eye contact and he was like, is that you? And he was like, oh, that's him. So I hope he's happy now. Bro, like if I wanna like tell you what he did to me, it's not gonna finish. Like
amazing. So basically before you came, he just gave you some advice. Gave you like told you what to do.
Yeah.
So he's probably, maybe he's not even thinking so much. Yeah, just do this, just do that.
Yeah.
But that transformed your whole life.
Of course.
And then what destiny, what myung,
yeah,
that you bumped into him in the street.
I know, right? It's crazy. So he also is studying Korea University and he was just having a lunch break at Mom's Touch.
Delicious chicken.
I know,
not
right?
sponsored, but that is lovely chicken.
Yeah, I was passing by. I saw him. Crazy. Like seriously, he helped me when I was like in my darkest time in Korea. Like seriously.
Can you tell like what kind of like advice he shared with you?
Advice about how can I survive? What should I do? Like, how can I do things better? When I was really sad and I had a lot of difficulties, I don't know how can I put this in words, but he just helped me a lot. I can tell. He was kind of the light in my darkest time.
Correct. If you don't mind sharing though, like when you say these kind of dark moments, do you mind telling us? You don't have to go tell us, whatever you're comfortable with.
Dark moments means when I was in the corona, so I couldn't see my parents for 3 years. I couldn't go back home for 3 years, and that guy, he used to always call me. He always used to send me foods, fruits. I used to always tell me, like, don't worry, I'm here. So you know that feeling, right? You know that feeling when you're sick. Doesn't matter how old you are, but still you want your mom to be next to you and like make some soups and stuff. That guy like helped me to not feel lonely. At the same time, I feel happy because I knew, oh, there's somebody I can rely on. So yeah, that was him.
Wow, no, huge, big respect to
Of
him
course,
for that, because
course.
I was away in COVID. I was in Thailand.
Yeah,
I didn't see family for nearly 2 years,
Yeah.
and it's tough.
Yeah.
The littlest thing when you're sick, as
Yeah.
you said, you overthink a lot. You really, really miss family in those moments. So it's like when it's good, maybe you're focused on the present. Wow, my work's going good. I've met nice friends. Then they're like, oh, he's not calling me much now.
Yeah.
When you're bad, that's when you're going to be calling, the family and those things. So the
Yes.
people who make you feel comfortable and at home when you're away, it's really a very special thing. So yeah, that advice, I feel like someone watching this might be really able to learn. You've kind of evolved and gone through this.
Yeah.
Do you have any quick advice for someone else who wants to move to Korea or move to any country, be away from their family before we move on?
My best friendly advice is that just be realistic. Because Korea is not something you see in the K-dramas, like movies, music video. It's not all about like fun. It's not all about like having a good time and going out, this kind of things. So if you visit, if you just travel, it's really fun country. You can go to different places. You can eat delicious food and stuff. But for living, I think you need to get ready for different things. And I would say difficulties. First of all, the language. And second, like if you're not really like easygoing person, it's kind of difficult for you to make new friends in Korea. Finding jobs, also, it's not really easy for foreigners, especially if you don't speak the language. So what I recommend to people who are coming to Korea, want to come to Korea, is that first of all, they know the culture kinda, and they try to learn the Korean, even the basic, and be realistic. Don't have like too much dreams and don't think like, well, what I see in the movies and dramas is the same thing.
It's interesting because you work in movies and dramas now, right?
I work there and it's totally different.
You mentioned there then, I mean, it's real, right? I came here first as an invitation to meet my Korean hyang, and after we studied together. So my first memories of Korea had nothing to do with working.
Yes.
Going to see the palaces, going to experience the food and some nature, and only positive, because I was a tourist.
Of course.
Once you're in that work culture and you're dealing with the intense schedules and you're online too in rush hour, it's a completely different experience.
100%.
But then, of course, you mentioned language. After, what was it, a year and a half of language studies, how do you think that changed you? And how did that change your experience here once you could actually start speaking Korean? What was the journey like for you linguistically starting to speak this language?
So a really good question. So in Korea, when you go somewhere, when you talk to them in English and when you talk to them in Korean, is like totally different world. Because it's not only Korea, like any country you go, when you speak English, like it's so like something random for them. They hear it every day. But for example, let's say somebody look like me go to like, let's say Vietnam. And when I want to order something, I order in Vietnamese. You know that feeling how they're happy and how they feel safe and welcome. So Korea is also same. And everywhere you go, when you speak Korean, like I experienced it for 10 years. Like when it's related to business, like making friends, like do something, it's so important. When I speak English and when I switch to Korean, they actually surprise. So it's a really big difference.
I mean, you mentioned it for Vietnam. I lived in Thailand
Yeah.
for many years, and
Yeah.
I get that instant
Yeah.
warm feeling from them of, sometimes people see something different.
Yeah.
And we can get into this as well, right?
Yeah.
They see someone who looks different.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit of fear.
Yeah.
Right? And then when you tell them, I don't know what you say to them, 나 한국어 할 수 있어요.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Like, you see a
exactly.
shock.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
정말요?
Yeah,
you get that a bit of joke, and suddenly all the fear. Like, I've been asked many times about what's the word, 중동, Middle Eastern, and they have kind of scariness about it. And in a second, you speaking to them, all of that fear vanishes.
Exactly.
So how was your experience of looking? I guess we got a similar kind of look, right? Like Middle Eastern, whatever that is,
Yeah.
For them to, what's the initial reaction when they see someone like you? And then how did you learn to live with that? And how did the language change that?
The reaction is quite positive always, because of course, like somebody look like me, speak the language like fluently, for them is really like positive thing, especially for people in their 60s, 70s. Because back in the time when Korea was kind of a poor country, they work hard. They really wanted to develop the country. So now they see a result. They see a result, a foreigners from different countries. They came to Korea. They even learned the language. So for them, it's like kind of, now I can relax, that feeling. So like elderly people in Korea, they love it. Even when you say like, hi, 안녕하세요, they're like, 한국말 엄청 잘하시네.
It's happened to me so many times,
right? When you even say a word. So I totally understand them. And also, like when I even talk to my friends in Korean, when we became friends, they didn't know I speak the language. And suddenly I switched to Korean, they were like, 어떡해. So yeah, it's really good feeling.
It's a proud moment for people when we know across the world, certain cultures like American have had a big cultural influence. And even historically, America's had a big influence here. So Koreans know anyone from abroad, they're going to speak English, American influence. So they're actually good at it. They might feel shy, but everyone studies English here.
Yeah.
So you will be able to understand and speak to you in English.
Yeah.
But there's when you show an awareness of their culture, there's such a they're so proud to share that.
Exactly.
I find, with people.
And Korea as a country is not really like, people, they don't talk to each other that much compared to my country and compared to Europe and
to Pakistan
US.
As well.
Yeah, I know. Like in Iran, it's so okay. Like it's like really like random. You take a bus, you're in the subway, you just walking on the street, you say hi to people you know. Hey, how was your day and stuff? Like if you don't do that, people like,
it's a bit rude, right?
Yeah, it's kind of not rude, but people are gonna be like, what is wrong with him? Why he is like in his own bubble, So it's really common thing to say hi and talk to like random people. But in Korea, it's not at all, especially if you're a foreigner. So, but when you talk to them in Korean, they kind of feel welcome and they just open their heart for you. And they actually, I want to mention really important thing. So some foreigners, they speak Korean. That's true. But how well you speak Korean, that one is also really important, So like Korean, like you mentioned, like 눈빛이 너무 like, so there's a thing, they read the rooms really well. So when you try to talk to them in Korean, they can tell how well you can speak the language. Because Korean language is a language, the pronunciation is really important. If you pronounce the words you say like in best way, perfect way, they know how will you speak. But if you just kind of speak the language, still they can feel, this guy is like kind of new here, so they know like how to react. So this is also really important.
Yeah, 눈치, I feel like, even though I'm not fluent in Korean, I like to say I'm culturally fluent because I've been told about the culture so much, and they're very observant people.
100%.
we've had it where with my brother we go and then we say like a very respectful phrase and we bow in a certain way. And we've walked into a restaurant recently.
Yeah.
And they're a bit cold to us. As we left, we both together said like, "나 잘 먹었습니다."
Yeah.
And as I left, I said, because it was nighttime, 안녕히 주무세요.
Yeah.
You know, she went from being the coldest woman ever.
Yeah.
She was so happy. She bowed, very deep bow to us.
Yeah.
Complete smile on the face.
I know.
And I only know those things because my Korean hyung taught me these phrases. And they're just this is an observance, like a level of observational skills I didn't have until I spent time with Koreans, where they might not say anything, everything.
Yes.
Body language, how you speak, the words you use, so many things. Like, so was that, I don't know, was that new for you to get that level of like?
As I mentioned earlier, I was kind of like familiar with the culture, but of course not this level, but I kind of knew what's going on. But living here for 10 years, of course, I met different people and I experienced different things in different situations. So I also like got better to understand the culture.
Before we move on, are there any like particularly beautiful moments? Maybe like we can go through both, like really, first, maybe some really challenging moments at the start where people might have treated you differently that you had to deal with. And then afterwards, maybe some really like heartwarming moments as well.
Well, challenging moments. Actually, it's not about myself. It's about my country. Unfortunately, because of some issues, like, for example, as an Iranian, you don't have some rights to do things. Like, for example, when Iranians come to Korea for a study, they cannot open a bank account.
Okay, like that's just for Iranians. Some other nationalities they can, right? Europeans, I think some of them can.
I don't know, but for Iranians, it's almost impossible. So this kind of challenges, like some Iranians have, but I didn't have, luckily, because back in the time it was okay, but these days it's really hard.
This changed over time.
Yeah, that's changed over time. But to be honest, about myself, I didn't have any like difficulties, and I didn't have any feelings like, oh, why that person is staring at me? Why talk to me like that? I mean, I'm like a really easygoing person, so I can change the way I see the world, but I cannot change the way that person sees the world. Like, so if I like take it too serious, I'm just gonna waste my day. I'm gonna be upset. I'm like, okay, just it is what it is. Yeah, I just pass.
Yeah.
So it's not something I really pay attention. But warm moments, a lot. I had a friend. Unfortunately, I lost him. He was a family friend. So one night I forgot the key to bring it out, and it was inside the house, and the door got locked. So I wanted to put the ladders and go up from the window, and he saw me. He was like, "Oh, no, you're a kid. I don't want you to anything happen to you." So he put the ladder. He went out, and like seriously, he opened the window. He went inside and brought the key back and stuff.
This was a Korean guy.
Yeah, Korean guy. Actually, unfortunately, that was the last time I saw him.
Oh, wow.
And like a few weeks after, like one of my other friends, he posted something on Instagram, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss you so much." Like, yeah. I was like, "What? Seriously?" Like when you have really like crazy experience with someone, and someone like doing something like really like crazy for you, and you realize that person passed away, it hits hard. You know what I mean?
What I've realized here is that it's definitely, everyone, says it's the pali life. That's very like fast paced, and the workload can be very intense, and people are stressed. And sometimes the reality is you go outside, you can feel that some people are stressed, and it can be hard to like not let that affect you. But despite that, on a daily basis here, I will have some stress moments, but then there's so many instances where especially older people have come and just, the love is just like huge as well. So it feels sometimes a bit like a roller coaster when I'm in Korea, where like someone will like push me out the way and like they don't care, and I feel a bit like, oh, okay. But then afterwards, an old person will come and bow to me and like give me like just the look that they give me is so loving.
Yeah.
And they might say something, welcome to Korea, or, they're so happy. And it's just like, whoa, this happened 5 seconds, like a lot going on.
Yeah, I know.
That it can sometimes, for my emotions, I just feel like, whoa. Have you any more memories you'd like to share?
Before saying another story, I personally believe the energy you have inside, it also affects the places you go.
100%.
Like if you're a person, you're always looking for like negative things and like kind of always like you want to do something like sneakier stuff. Trust me, always like you face crazy people and always like so many things happen to you, you don't even think about it. But if you are positive inside, and believe me, everywhere you go, everything is really smooth for you. You meet nice people and stuff. So I really believe that. One time, it was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and I was outside. I was just came out from my friend's place, and I couldn't take a taxi. And there were like 3 Korean people, and they asked me like, "Are you like lost in here and stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, kinda. I didn't know that area well." And they asked me, "Where do you live?" I was kind of like, why they're asking me, like, where do I live? And he was like, it's okay. We know you're a foreigner and we know it might be difficult for you to take a taxi now. Like, anywhere you live, we can, like, drop you. But they were so nice. I could tell they're really nice people.
In
Yeah.
Europe, if someone's just offering to give you a
Yeah,
lift,
yeah,
you're
I
gonna
know,
think
I
like,
know. So in Korea, there is like you can trust, but not everybody. But you can like 눈빛 is really important.
Oh,
So I could feel that. Oh, actually, they're really nice, and I was I mean, thank you so much, and they drove me home.
wow,
Yeah.
it's just like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know that I can't deny that there are things that happen that are difficult, but it's so nice to keep hearing these
Yeah.
positive stories. And what you said reminded me of a quote,
Yeah.
a deep quote that I heard, that the
Yeah.
eyes
Yeah.
are the mirror of the soul.
Exactly.
And you're making me reflect a lot, because I
Yeah.
feel it. When I'm good, you go outside, good things seem to happen. Not always. There's always
Yeah,
like
of course.
exceptions, but
Yes.
it's
In general.
in the same way. Like I said, if someone's stressed, that energy is being projected out.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing to do though, right? When, let's say, like, it is a very like intense,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people on the subway and on the bus, very crowded. How do you keep that positivity, even though sometimes, there's a lot of rushing and a lot of stress around you? How do you maintain that in you?
First of all, I don't think too much, and I'm kind of really relaxed person. So even though I'm living in Korea for quite 10 years, but I did my best to not stuck in the like pali culture in Korea, because it's something I know I'm not gonna be there. Because even though when I was in Iran, so sometimes my mom my parents, they told me, oh, I think you're too relaxed. You need to just like do something more faster. And I was like, I cannot. Like, I just wanna do things step by step. And I don't think how long it takes. I just don't want to get the stress. So even though living in Korea, I didn't want to work at the Korean company. I had the experience working in the company for only 4 months, living here for 10 years, but only for 4 months. And I was like, oh,
Not for you.
not for me.
Let's get into that then. So you finished your language course.
Yeah.
So now you're confident, speaking to people, you can connect with them.
Yeah.
What did you do after that then? Because that's only a year and a half in. And
I went to university.
In Seoul?
Yeah. I went to university and I studied business administration.
In Korean?
Yeah. I mean, in English.
Okay. Yeah.
We had some Korean classes, but the main language was English.
Okay.
So after I graduated from university, I worked a little bit with my father, like business. We had a small business. And one day I was going back home, like I got a DM from my Instagram, and there was from a production, like movie production. And back in the time, I had a like longer beard, and it was like, okay, our director really likes your face and your beard. Like, do you wanna like try to like be in the movie and stuff? I was like, Well,
I'm laughing because it's
yeah.
just for me to receive a message. I really like your beard.
Yeah, like
That sounds
seriously.
it's very.
Yeah. Because it's not such a common thing like in Korea to, because
Yeah, I
like they
know.
don't have many
But
beard,
still,
but
it's just making me laugh.
yeah,
Like
I know, right?
I like your face.
Yeah.
Okay, that's common kind of in
Yeah.
Asia, but I like your beard as well.
Yeah.
It's like it just makes me
Seriously,
laugh.
it's a true story.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, why not?
Nice.
So I went there, like I had an audition and they really liked me. They really liked me, and there was a movie. I went. Of course, I was like really a super super small role, but from that day, I realized, oh, actually, like entertainment industry is not that bad. So after that day, I started like taking more photos, and I started like sending message to all the modeling agencies and stuff. And I ended up become like, I don't know, I cannot call myself a model or actor. Like, I'm way too far. But I was lucky, and I had enough I had like amazing experiences working in the entertainment industry.
So is that the main work you've been doing now for the last however many years?
Yeah. I have an entertainment visa in Korea, which means I can only work which is related to like entertainment industry, includes music videos, YouTube, movies, dramas, commercials, this kind of.
By this point, we probably will have quite a few of the group discussions we've done with similar, like people working in that industry, and we've heard a lot of ups and downs in that work. You know,
Crazy.
So how was that for you to transition into that completely different culture, completely new industry for you? I mean, you did your studies in business admin, finished that, and then mainly worked in entertainment. So there's completely different fields as well, right? So
it's so difficult. First of all, competition is extremely high because like there are a lot of models, and like in Korea, the entertainment industry, the first option is like Europeans. Doesn't matter what. Like tall, blonde, blue eyes Europeans are always on top. So you cannot kind of compete with them. Sometimes in my case, if the director likes somebody who looks like me and have a beard, so yeah, I might have a chance. But in general, it's not easy at all. So people who are watching this and listening to this, I'm telling you, if you want to become a model, an actor, actress in Korea, I'm telling you, if anybody tells you, yeah, you can come to Korea, you can become famous, you can do many things, you can meet Korean idols, whatever, it's a big lie. Don't trust them.
They say in English, all that glitters isn't gold. You know, something looks shiny from the outside, looks wow, you know, but in reality, it's a lot of hard work.
Of course.
It's the same with, you know, YouTube podcast. I mean, I love the fact that our work is having these great conversations. But there's a lot of tough work that comes in with it as well. That is not, you don't see that on the screen, but this is, I guess, the fun part is sitting and having the conversation. But there's a lot of behind the scenes difficulties, ups and downs, things going wrong, tension. It's all part of it. So how did you, I guess, manage that? You know, you're in this industry now, but you stayed it for a long time. So something must be working, right? So
I try to always update myself and like keep it fresh between me and the studios and agencies, because automatically they will forget you, because there are thousands of models and they work with them every day. So I always like try to like send them my new photos, and if I have a new job, I would just send them to them. I'm like, okay, this is my recent work I done. So if there's any upcoming project you think is matched with me, please like contact me. So you should always be in touch with them. If you think like, oh, they're gonna find you, they're gonna text you, no,
it's because they've literally got 1,000 other people.
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
So that's one of the best way, and also networking is really important.
Do you have any tips for people about networking?
Best way to find the networking, just go out and talk to people
in the street, like with the German, guy. But how about in cultures like in Korea? I mean, you speak the language still, but it's not as like, for example, in Thailand, where I lived, it's a lot more common to anyone that you can kind of speak. They're shy, but they're still open when you approach them. It's a bit more difficult here. You know, I've had situations where I've wanted to ask for directions or something. And, Annie, you know, so it's like, it's just not as common.
Yeah.
How can, when you say go out and speak to people, how does that work here?
For me, as I told you, I love to talk to new people, and like I'm so good at it actually. That's why everywhere, like seriously, I'm not lying. Everywhere I go, if there is an event, if there is a party, if there is anything, everywhere I go, I meet some friends. It's crazy.
That's because you know someone already, and then
Yeah. So my networking is quite good, and my networking skills is really good. So I think easiest way to find new people in different industries, that's the only option. You talk to people. You talk to people and you tell them, yeah, I'm interested in doing this kind of things. Do you know maybe anybody can help me with doing that things? Like people are shy asking for help, which is quite sad, but we're humans. We can only help each other, right? That's the best way for me to explore my networking and meeting new people. And even some of them, I told them I want to do that. And they introduced me to their friends who are in the like production industry. And I also work with them for the movies, dramas, music videos.
I think in some cultures, like there's a big fear of rejection.
Yeah.
That I guess is natural, it's biological, but I feel that the worst they can really say is, oh, sorry, actually, we don't have anyone now. And then still, you just, oh, thanks anyway, you know, really appreciate it and whatever. But it's, in some cultures, I feel like British people and Koreans are more scared to ask.
Yeah.
Maybe Pakistanis and Iranians, you're going to ask the person on the street.
Yeah,
you know,
bro.
Random person. Look, do you know anyone? Can you help me out? It's so normal, right?
Yes, seriously, trust me. I ask everything. I ask everything because we're humans. So we can talk to each other. It's not something like, wow. Yeah, why not?
But I mean, we're here now because literally, I mean, Ivo, big thanks to Ivo. A lot of this Korean content that we've, like content in Korea we filmed so far has all been because that guy.
Yeah, amazing guy.
Literally, I just said, hey, bro, we're coming to Korea soon. Do you know any people we could reach out to? My phone hasn't stopped pinging since that time. So big respect to Ivo. And this is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, so. I mean, okay, let me mention this. I love that guy. Such a nice guy. Everybody in the entertainment industry love him. Seriously, Ivo is such a nice guy. Cheers, bro.
Nah, merci beaucoup, mon frère. I mean, it's... So that was a key part, networking.
Yeah.
And then, well, I guess, what does your future look like now in Korea then? Do you plan on staying here? Do you have ambitions to move elsewhere? Because 10 years is a very long time.
Is it?
If I look at myself, over 4 years in Thailand, that had a huge impact on me. So you've had more than double that time here. So that you're getting to the point where all of your adult life, the majority of that has been in Korea.
Basically, I grew up here. Like my mindset, like kind of, because when you're a teenager, it's so different. But when you go in your 20s, it's really different story. So I'm not saying that it's same for all the foreigners in Korea, but for foreigners who like me, who came to Korea since they were kid, and they speak the language, like I don't know what should I say. It's kind of addiction, not addiction. It's like when you go to other countries, like when I travel to other countries, like for 1 week, 2 weeks, let's say 1 month, it's really fun. Even my country, when I go back home, I see my family, I eat everything I want, I see my old friends, I go to the different places I wanted. But after 1 month or 2 months, I'm like, I think I need to go back to Korea, you know? Even though I'm saying that I had a lot of difficulties, still I have, but I'm kind of like, I feel like for now, I'm kind of belong to this.
So you feel like
environment.
Is Korea your home now?
100%. Yeah, for sure. Like from Korean perspective, I'm always foreigner. But from my side, I can call it my second home, I guess.
It's an interesting one because I was born in a country where, again, for me, this is where I was born. 90% of my family, more than that, 99% of my family, all in this country.
Yeah.
Other people may look at me and judge it as, no, even though I am mixed, I look different enough that, no, this can't be my home. But then it comes down to, who gets to decide that? Is it
Yeah.
you defining yourself, or is it someone else defining that for you? I feel like what you feel, no one else has the right really to, I guess, that's your personal relationship with Iran, with Korea.
Yeah,
so
I love both.
So after 11 years here, what does the future look like for you?
I hope I will have a bright future in Korea. And actually, I don't know at what age I'm going to get married, but I think if I marry one day, I will marry a Korean girl. So I might have a family here. And I really want to open my tea house because I'm from Middle East and I love tea. My close friends, they know that I love tea. I want to open my like cozy small tea house and like gathering my friends. We have a nice chat and enjoy the tea. That's one of my things I want to do in the future. And of course, start my own business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, so the tea, separate business too.
Yeah, separate business. That one is more like fun.
Yeah, let's stay on that first, because I mean, tea for me is maybe as a Brit and as a Pakistani, and someone who's lived in Asia, I love tea. I mean, in Korea, I had a coffee this morning. I see we just got a coffee. Like coffee's everywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in Asia when I'm sitting on the floor and I've got a herbal tea or one of these traditional teas. And I know for you, you said you love the traditional. What's the traditional Iranian tea? Is it like black or?
It's black, and we call it chai or chai.
Same as us. Chai, yeah.
I love it, bro. Like first thing when I wanted to move to Korea, the day I had a flight to Korea, the first thing I put in my like bag was do you guys know the samovar? Like the tea maker.
Okay.
So that one was the first thing I put it in my bag. So I mean, I love tea, bro. Like, and I know how to make it. So sometimes I like make it for my like Korean friends, my other foreign friends. They drink it, and they're like, "Wow."
I can see how happy
tea has a really like huge role in my life.
I mean, it brings people together as well. And I know that, certain cultures, there are many different habits, whether it's alcohol or certain food. But for me, tea, as long as you don't put sugar or whatever, or too much milk, like in general, tea should be something healthy.
Yeah.
And when you're sat down together, you share that with someone. I don't feel like guilty if I'm sitting down, connecting with friends with tea.
Exactly.
Because it's good for you as well as bringing you together. So
that was really good you mentioned it. So drinking tea itself is like just a tea, but when you make that tea and when you offer it to your friends and when you guys like sitting together, like talking, like having friendly conversation, that moment built because of the tea, it's really beautiful.
And in Iran, do you ever sit on the floor or not?
We don't.
Oh, okay.
But back in the times, yes, but these days, no, we just sit on the couch.
Because we like lie down on the things in Pakistan and these moments. In Korea, I think it depends. Certain places they sit on the floor here, right?
Like back in the times, it used to be more like there used to be some places like Korean barbecues. They used to sit on the ground, but these days you cannot find them easily because like it changed a little bit. But it's still Korean people, they love sitting on the floor.
Yeah, there's I've been to a few traditional tea houses in Korea where you're on the floor, and for me, literally, it grounds you, and you're it's just a different vibe.
Yeah, the vibe is different. I love it. Yeah.
Okay. Business. What can you tell us a bit about your business ambition?
I'm focusing on like K-beauty business, like cosmetics, and it's really popular these days. And I think I have a really good opportunity to do that business and like globally. So I'm focusing on that. I'm trying to like make good network, and I'm just learning how it works. So like K-beauty is my like future business for sure.
I mean, it is. It has, from someone who's lived in Southeast Asia, to see the impact of most of the time. If I take like a subway or something, there's the huge billboards, either Korean or Japanese cosmetics. It's and when you compare it to Europe as well, like one of the reasons maybe people look so young is these cosmetics and people knowing. My Korean friends, when they travel, they've got, even the guys, they've got a big box.
Yeah, of course.
Right? For me, it might just be I got my sunscreen. For them, they have a huge box of all these products that they're using, and they they look very, very young. So
I also need to mention that like sometimes it's too much, and so the reason is that like beauty standards in Korea is extremely crazy. Like beauty standards is really, 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 really high. So I know it's good to like, of course, look pretty and look handsome, but at the same time, for some people, it's kind of difficult because like they're not handsome enough, they're not pretty enough, so they're under the pressure, and everywhere they go, they might get judged, like because they can see like people around themselves. They're like, oh, why I'm not that pretty, or why I'm not that handsome. So it's really, I would say, really like negative side about the high beauty standard in Korea.
What's really important as well is that you say not pretty enough or not handsome enough for their lens on standards of what they deem to be this. And I mean, we spoke with another Iranian, British Iranian world champion boxer on a previous video, Takalu. And he was saying that in Iran, he was considered as a kid Topoli, you know.
Yeah.
And he, you know, the family was happy that he was quite big and strong as a kid. Whereas I know that every time I go back between Europe and Asia, depending on how I look, I'm getting different comments.
Yeah.
You know, my hairstyle. Oh, I love your hair this way. In Europe, oh man, you should change it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you're looking really lean and good. Go back to Europe. Oh, you need some more muscle.
Yeah.
You know, it's exactly the same person.
Yeah.
But you're going to get different things. Oh man, you look so tanned. Bro, wow, you know, keep getting the sun. You look awesome.
Yeah.
Come back to Asia. Oh, you're looking too brown now.
Yeah.
You need to look whiter. The same, you know, but it's really difficult that the same person will get praised in one place.
Yeah.
And then, you know, feel really insecure in another place. And I think it's hard because Koreans, not just Koreans, a lot of Asians can be very open about, I don't, maybe Iran, I'm not sure, but in Pakistan as well, in Thailand, you know, how old are you? Why are you not married? Why don't you have kids?
Yeah.
You know, why are you this weight?
Yeah.
You're too skinny. You're too fat. You need to do this. Why is your beard like this? You know?
Yeah.
It can be painful sometimes.
Yeah,
you know? I've heard a lot of people open up, even workers in the companies here say to me like, older men and women are going to tell me, you know, like, even if they look good, it feels a bit uncomfortable that why are these older people commenting about my looks, right? You're getting a lot of feedback. Even if you don't want it, there's a lot of feedback. So how do you deal with that as well? Especially in your industry, your whole work is about like how you look, right?
I don't really care what they say about me. Yeah.
But it's easier said than done, right? So
exactly. So they tell me, oh, you're handsome. And I say, oh, thank you so much. And they tell me, you're ugly. You're too fat. You need to get some muscles. And I tell them, thank you so much for your friendly advices. I will work on it. Because when somebody like mention anything about you, and when you know you cannot do something about it, for now, you're just gonna get stressed, right? Because that person doesn't know you can not do something about it at the moment. But when you just like take it easy and you say, thank you for your advice, and that person can notice, oh, actually, I think it was better I didn't mention about it because it didn't really like affected me, my advice. So I didn't, honestly, I don't get many like this kind of feedbacks. But if somebody tells me, oh, you're too skinny, you're too fat, you're whatever, I'm like, that's who I am. You want it, you don't want, okay. It's totally fine.
And it's something we discussed with on a previous group discussion about like when it comes to body and health and how to stay physically and mentally fit.
Yeah.
It can be hard when in certain people's work, it's like they will be told straight up, you can only get this if you lose this much weight in 1 week or 2 weeks. And if you need the money at that time, it's a lot of pressure to go through. But I really love that approach of growing up in the UK, we're a bit more confrontational.
Yeah.
If someone says to you something that you don't like, why do you look like that? You're going to like say something bad. Hey, you know, what about you? How about you? How you look, you know?
Yeah.
But I think being in Asia, like you get used to taking the feedback a lot more. And it even with these YouTube comments, you know, let us know, you know, I've heard a lot of negative comments. Thank you so much for the comment. You know,
exactly.
You're still watching the video. You're still talking to me. So that's my own journey
Yeah.
of receiving feedback and becoming better with that. So
Yeah. You should take it easy. You should not like think too much about it.
Farzan said it, I'm going to try and take this advice to be a bit more, take it easy, because I know sometimes the words can be sharp like swords, you know, so it's being able to take it like this is, I think, a lesson we can all learn listening to this. But we've covered a lot today. We've heard the story from growing up in Iran, seeing this new culture, wanting to learn the language, learning the language, changing from business administration, getting into the entertainment industry. Are there any final points or maybe advice, message you want to give to anyone watching this today?
My advice is like, no, not advice, just friendly reminder. Just when you like love some people, just make sure to call them. And if you can see them, just make sure you see them. Just make sure you share the moment. You share a meal with them and tell them how much you love them before it's too late. That's the really friendly reminder I can tell to people who are watching this video.
I don't think there's anything much more for me to say than thank you for that beautiful reminder. Thank you for sharing the story today. Of course, all of Farzan's socials are going to be up on the screen. I know you do a lot of different types of entertainment work, so that's going to be on the screen, your IG, everything in the description box below. But apart from that, thank you for watching. Again, let us know in the comments. Give us your feedback. We're inviting that to help us improve. Let us know what you think. Of course, if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. And finally, consider subscribing as well, as it helps us to meet more incredible people, hear these unique stories, and keep learning, keep evolving. So yeah, that would help us a lot if you do subscribe. But until next time, huge thanks to Farzan. Thank you to you, and see you next time.
Thank you so much. It was amazing, friendly conversation. And everybody is watching this video. I hope you always be healthy, happy, and enjoy the time with the people you love.